Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the curtain is about to go up. Dorothy lived in the midst of the great Kansas prairie with her Uncle Henry and Auntie Em. "There's a twister coming," cried Uncle Henry. "Quickly, Dorothy, head for the storm cellar. Oh, Toto, there's a twister coming to the Emerald City." Follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'd like you to meet the man behind the puppets, the artistic director of the Lancaster Marionette Theater, a legend in his own mind, Robert Brock. You wanna go back down? The dogs are getting used to you, Al. I've always known I'd have a puppet theater, and I've always known I'd live above the puppet theater. I just thought it might be a little more financially stable. Hello, I'm Robert Brock, artistic director and founder of the Lancaster Marionette Theater, and I'm on the set of Peter Pan. What's your name? Wendy, Moira, Angela, darling. What's yours? And then Peter has to make sure he's ready to fly. And this is what Peter Pan should look like. Barry describes his costume as leaves, spider webs, nuts. He doesn't mention sequins, but that's me. It's a shitty puppet. I don't like, I love Peter Pan. I don't like any of those marionettes. That's one show I'd love to rebuild.
Peter Pan is my favorite show. We don't do it any longer. And I don't mention it any longer either, because for some reason it seems to annoy Rob when I say, "Are we going to do Peter Pan again?"
What's my favorite show too? It's just there's shit. The puppets. It was my muslin stage. It was my muslin stage, and it was sort of my muslin stage. The Peter Pan marionettes were made several years ago when I was going through my muslin stage. I don't recommend anyone go through the muslin stage. And I regret going through that stage because they just don't animate nicely. Here I am, Hook, you codfish.
I would be very happy if Peter Pan went back on the schedule, because I think it's an excellent show. And I think we need that 7th show.
You got it. That curtain's at 7:30, Denise. I don't have to give you directions since you're right next door. Did you like Peter Pan? Good. Oh, shit. I'm out of routine. And when I'm out of routine, I get a little frazzled. Sherry Lewis always said, never write down to children, write up to children. It makes them much more savvy. All children, except one, grow up.
They're asked to grow up too soon. And I think that the theater exposes them to make-believe, wonder, and magic. The puppets call me Nanny Lou. So from now on, so can you. Are you ready now for me to say the magic words? On with the show. I like to say to them the magic of the Lancaster Marionette Theater, because you're sort of entering another world. The one-man show, of course, is a world unto itself.
Neverland, Neverland, that's where I live in Neverland. For 35 minutes, you can escape and go into a totally different world. There's that, Mom, what's that wonderful quote from the newspaper last year? I can never think of it. The end of the year, the New Year's. Hold the line a minute. Or aren't you going to say what you said to me earlier? Why he likes you
That
better?
I'm a nicer person. Yes.
I rest my case. Let me out of here.
I think we coexist, or cohabit, I think is the term, this house, because we have our own separate areas.
We should have separate bathrooms, which I tried when we did this renovation.
Yes, I really would keep this one.
I can't hear you.
I really would keep this one. I think that's...
It's not in the design.
Okey-doke.
My mom and I have worked together all our lives, so we don't need to do everything together.
All right, Robert, good to go.
Are you taking yours now?
No, I'll get mine later. You go with it.
It's been about 12 years since we've eaten dinner together without guests. I like to eat what I want to eat, and so it just works better if we don't eat together. She has her joy juice at 4 o'clock every day, or a Bloody Mary.
So this is cocktail hour, is that what?
Happy hour. 4 to 5, or thereafter, and thereafter.
And when did that start?
Oh, gosh.
60 years ago. Someone wrote a review and accused me of suffering from the Peter Pan syndrome. I play with little dollies, and I live with my mommy above the theater. Joseph Mankiewicz directed this. And I was going to report it, and then I thought, no, I don't want to get into a pissing contest with a skunk.
Welcome to the Lancaster Marionette Theater.
The Puppet Theater has been around since 1990, but it's always been a dream for Robert Brock.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What I like to see when people come in and they have absolutely no idea, and they usually say something like, I never expected anything like this.
Even though technology has changed television shows for kids, he still believes like there is something special about puppet theater.
It is low tech and it's just me. That's the special effect.
He hopes that this handy art will always appeal to generations young and old.
Well, I can't wait for 2020 because that'll be celebrating our 30th year, and I think that's quite an accomplishment.
It's Peter Pan!
When we originally started, I did all Muppet-style puppets, and I would work with a number of different women because I was afraid to do the female characters.
They also had families and other obligations, and they decided they needed to have full-time jobs elsewhere.
I'm back for one more night to suck the lives out of a virgin here at the Lancaster Marionette Theater. Curses, damn, damn, and double damn. Methinkest thou may be challenging. Satan he is summoned, my sisters are not coming. The singing and the humming, it's calling all spirits. Grey Gardens, little Edie, Billy smokes some weedy. Sometimes I can be needy, it's calling all spirits. You have to help with applause,
Okay.
but not like how Buddy complains about.
Yeah.
What?
My teeth already fell out. There are virgins about. Some marionettes will pull out. It's calling all spirits.
If I muck that up, let me go, because I'll probably
Okay.
just switch. You mangy feline. Line.
Still alive?
Still alive? Perhaps the cat doth caught my tongue. That was wrong.
Perhaps the cat got my tongue.
Please come up. I don't know this because I'm going to read it.
Let me make one thing perfectly clear.
Let me make one thing perfectly clear.
The magic?
The magic will only last for this evening's performance. I shall be dust!
Toast.
It's just... ticket sales are terrible. But... and I love doing what I'm doing. Because if I don't perform, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, I could do, like, I don't know. I don't want to even think about it. I would do the tarot, because I could still set my own hours. I do some tarot readings and palm readings occasionally, but that doesn't generate a whole lot of money. I'm going to cancel Holiday for the Stars, because I just can't keep this pace up. I just need I need a break. And I don't want to take I don't want to be like this the last week of the year. And I'll probably do Kiss the Heels Goodbye like one last time, and that very well could be the last time, although they're good shows. Don't you think they're good shows, Brenda? One time, this is a number of years ago, we were doing the Death and Life of Sherlock Holmes, and one old man came and insisted I do the show. So I performed it for him. But here's the funny thing. That show had an intermission in it. And at the intermission, he left, and I didn't tell him there was a second act. Follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard. Off to see the wizard. Thank you. You were a really good audience, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I actually really liked it. It was very, very interesting to watch. the witch, her eyes were like, they had black around them. Plus, her eyes were like, her eyelids were a little bit like, he was funny and he had a good singing voice.
Thanks for coming by. Come again.
We will.
Oh, well, I thought that went pretty
You
good.
did. It went very well, and you did the Wicked Witch the East every time properly.
Please welcome to the stage the Helen Hayes of the Lancaster Marionette Theater, my mom, Mary Lou Brock.
Parents tell me that when kids do puppet shows at home, they start by giving Nanny Lou's pre-curtain speech and telling everyone how to behave. If it turns out that someone can't sit quietly for 35 minutes, then we ask the parent or the grandparent to take the youngster into the museum. I was ordained in 1983 and served for 14 years at St. James as the curate, which is assistant to the rector.
And my mom still goes there, and that's where my dad's buried, my grandparents are buried. My mother will be buried, and so will I. Interred in the churchyard.
1990 was really when we first started treating it as a business. It was after I lost the election as mayor of the city.
Mary Lou Brock, Republican candidate for mayor.
I love Lancaster and the spirit of its people. Lancaster is still standing proud. Let me put my experience to work for you.
Rob would say afterwards, if you hadn't lost the election, we wouldn't have the theater. While Rob is extremely talented and a natural performer, he has no idea of how to balance a checkbook or when to stop spending money.
I've been doing some major shopping for the 30th anniversary. Our invitation for the gala looks really sharp, and then I wanted to order special stamps. And I can go ahead and order those digital picture frames.
Yes, but then that's it for shopping.
I
For the
promise
rest of
I
this
won't
year.
spend another penny this year.
No more wigs. Initially, he produced the shows with very little material. As time went on, that was not the case.
That's not going to interfere with these lights.
It wasn't so much an argument. It was two positions. One, he who was designing, and two, she who was paying. If Rob doesn't really want to learn something, he has a way of avoiding it. There'll be a time when he's going to have to, and then I think he'll be very capable. But right now, he doesn't even write his own checks.
I really depend on Mary Lou. And so that's the biggest fear. How am I going to survive when I don't have Mary Lou to pay the bills and keep it all running, keep the financial part of it running? Really, if it weren't for my parents, it wouldn't be here.
His father used to say, Rob's a pain in the neck, but he's our pain in the neck. Now, neck wasn't the word Bob used, but...
Trust me, my father and I had issues early on.
But Rob, you look at Rob and you look at me, I mean, you know he's my son. And he is overweight, which...
My husband and I bought the property in 2001.
And we were able to buy the building, and within a year, we bought the building. We've incorporated nonprofit.
We did become a nonprofit so that we could apply for grants.
We did a production of Beauty and the Beast. And we had like a preschool from Community Action Program, and they were too young. They were so young that when the house lights went out, they sort of started to cry. And then the fog started. One started to cry. The entire class cried, broke out. We had to stop and, oh, it was awful. I've been doing this show so long I have it memorized.
But that's typically for?
The script, and music comes off my iPhone. I always say that the puppet is the extension of the actor. So I always think of myself primarily as an actor more than a puppeteer. Well, did you see the marquee Peter Pan's playing here? And I didn't play Peter Pan, I was in Peter Pan. I played Nana and Smee and did the costumes and masks. And I was the first person to have my photograph in color for the Lancaster newspapers then. So it's a long time ago. When you're working as an actor, you have to audition. You're constantly putting yourself on the line, and it's constant rejection.
We attended everything that Rob ever appeared in. While lots of the things were highly entertaining, there were some that...
It's a big fat Baghdad boogie. It's a big fat Baghdad boogie.
My career wasn't going where I wanted it. It was the rejection I just had a hard time with. But with the puppets in the puppet theater, I can play all the roles. I don't have to audition, and I can have complete control. I auditioned, and they said that I wasn't American Pie enough for them. I was a little too sophisticated. Plus, I think I was a little too gay. I think they wanted hee-haw.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go feed the birds. I remember this kid coming up to me and saying, "Look at your fingernails." So I did this. And he said, "Only girls look at their fingernails like this. Boys look at their fingernails like this." So then you sort of tried to play Butch, which was a stretch for me. Come and get it. I was having some depression issues, and I was hospitalized, and one of the psychologists, who looked amazingly like Edward Albee, decided we had to have this meeting with my parents for me to come out, which I did, and my father cried. My father just broke down. And my mother's response was,
I guess I just knew it from the time he was a teenager, late teens.
And it's like, well, it's not a frickin' secret. I like theater, I like puppets, I like stage makeup. It's the pride colors plus brown and black with injustice for all. And last Friday night or Saturday night, it was vandalized. And fuck 12, I don't know what fuck 12 is. We're about diversity as far as I'm concerned. The Marionette Theater celebrates diversity. I've always had problems with depression and suicide. It's better now that I don't drink. It's not as frequent. I can sort of recognize it. And you know, I'm still of that generation where you do not discuss mental health. You know, that was kept a big secret when I was in the psychiatric units. You didn't tell anyone. I used to jokingly refer to it as my Judy Garland stage, but I don't think that's so funny anymore. The attorney said to me, fake it. Tell him you have a plan, tell him this is what you're going to do. So I followed his advice and I gave the best acting job of my life. And I said, when I'm out of here, I'm going to move to California and finish my career. And I told them everything they wanted to hear, and I was out in 2 days, which was not a very smart thing to do because I really never got treatment. I was an openly gay teenager in the 70s. That was dangerous. But luckily, I had the theater to escape. You know, my personality on stage is not that's not me. That's my persona. It's like Joan Rivers isn't funny all the time. I mean, Joan Rivers cries and gets sad, but it's the persona. So people think that I'm gregarious and like to party. I knew to stay sane, I had to perform. I can't imagine my life without performance. I've created my safe space at the theater, and I'm sort of proud of that. It's like my little utopia, but it took a lot of time and energy and thought. No matter how hard you try to create a happy world, something like this happens. There's worse things than this. I'll put you in the crate. I'm having terrible anxiety.
About what?
This show. My life. What do you get when you combine 1 puppeteer / actor, 5 pairs of shoes, 7 costumes, 3 wigs, 2 marionettes, 1 ostrich boa, and a red feather headdress? The Lancaster Marionette Theater's popular production, Divas and Dames Kiss the Heels Goodbye.
They're each part of a sports bra, and this part is rice. So, and then I covered them. He uses them when he impersonates female singers like Liza Minnelli, Carol Channing, etc. So we need to make sure that they actually work in this one-piece garment. I worked in banking for 25 years and then worked helping to implement the Affordable Care Act in Maryland. So here we are. And now I'm doing this. Yep. I was afraid I put too much rice in them.
If I sweat, they'll swell.
Okay, this opening got smaller. I think I may have to do something about that. Okay.
I think they look very nice, Judy Garland bosom. Judy Garland did have a good bosom. It's been 2 years since Robert Brock performed this tour de force show, but he thought he'd put the heels back on one more time to see if, at 61, soon to be 62, can still kick up his heels, tap, sing, and transform himself into Judy Garland, Liza Minnelli, Bette Midler, Mae West, and Carol Channing. First, I want it up higher. Get up.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know to touch?
May look better.
Pause. I'm gonna start again.
Okay.
Am I all right?
See what I mean?
That looks terrible. We won't use that. The discipline of the theater was always firmly established with me.
Ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, go. Go. Stop. Okay, do it.
You can't say go. I need.
Okay. I'll just say one,
There
two.
has to be. I'll hear it ding.
Okay.
Because I need space at the top to edit it in. Got it?
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Ready. Hello, I'm Robert Brock, the artistic director and founder of the Lancaster Marionette Theater. It's been 2 years since I've done Divas and Dames. You've been asking for it. Oh, the air conditioner's open.
Oh.
Hello, I'm Robert Brock. We have to redo that. If you go back, I'll close the air conditioner.
Okay.
You have to try to keep your eye. Get your tickets to come see Divas and Dames. I'll be doing Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland. Get your tickets to come see Divas and Dames. Boom. He's been doing this show for 20 years, and you would think he'd be satisfied. No! He's constantly changing it. He's never satisfied. When I do the grown-up shows, I feel like an actor. I seldom get to sing legit. What else could I do again but keep repeating through and through? I love you, love you. Let's do this one. Is my stomach in?
I'm not.
I don't have lipstick on. Uncle.
Crisis.
With the mic or without the mic? With the mic. Come see Liza and me at Divas and Dames at the Lancaster Marionette Theater. And you know what? We'll sing them all and we'll stay all night. Come see Liza and me at Divas and Dames at the Lancaster Marionette Theater. And you know what? We'll sing them all and we'll stay all night. I think that's a keeper.
Yeah. Sometimes perfectionist to me also means that people
Wait a minute,
take
you're caught there.
all of the sort of liveliness out of it, and I don't think he does that. I think he's trying to be the best that he can be without taking, like, the heart out of the people that he's impersonating.
It's a piece of theater. It's not buffooning women. It's respecting these women, and they're performers that I'm passionate about. Founder of the Lancaster Marionette Theater. I'm not always dressed like this when I'm performing here, but I'm getting ready. Okay. September and October is for grown-ups only. We never say adults. We always say grown-up, because adult sounds like it's X-rated, and it isn't. But when you have Mae West and Bette Midler, it can get a little raunchy. He said, "So you got no tits in a tight box." I said, "Ernie, get off my back." And we're gonna play it no matter what. If we have a small audience, Brenda and Beth have to help clap, which is really tacky, but I need it. If it's like 10, they don't have to clap. Get your tickets today, because Dolly'll never go away again. See you at the Lancaster Marionette Theater. I'm singing in a different key from the music that's under me, but... Can someone go up and get Mary Lou? Tell her we're starting early. Yes. Scarf. A number of years ago, I wanted to do Judy and Liza, and I wanted to play the characters. Well, my mother had a hard time with that, and she finally said, "I don't agree with it, but I will let you do it," and it was a hit.
It isn't what I enjoy most. I understand the value of it for him. Well, it's a little hard getting used to that appearance, that leotard or whatever it is, and those long legs sticking out, and think it's my son. I'm supportive of it, but it's not my favorite thing. When I see him in costume, particularly in the that red gown, he looks remarkably like his sister.
When I was 2 years old, my father made my sister a puppet stage and said Ann's Puppet Playhouse. This is my sister Ann. My dad built this puppet theater for Ann and said Ann's Playhouse on it. And you see this cute little boy right
with
there?
this even cuter little girl. Sometimes people will ask me, you know, do I have siblings? And say, yes, I have a younger brother, and he's an actor, and he's an artist, and he's a comedian, he's a singer, he's a dancer, and he's kind of a pain in my ass a lot of times.
My sister has accused me of stealing her puppet theater, as you heard her say earlier. She's accused me of many things, but in this instance, I have to admit to it.
Well, of course it's embellished. Anything that comes from Rob is definitely embellished.
Okay, go back. I honestly can say I do not remember the Christmas morning of 1959. I was 2.
He started with puppets when he was 4 years old because he was in the hospital for a month. I mean, we nearly lost Rob when he was 4 years old and had surgery. And the surgeon said, the tumor is wrapped around the spinal cord and I can't remove it, but I will go back in 10 days and take it out if it proves to be benign. And if it is malignant, we'll keep him comfortable. Praise the Lord, it was benign, and it did come out. He had to learn to walk again.
Come on, come up and daddy. Come on, come on. Oh, just don't get jealous. Come here. I did a terrible job on your haircut. I one time said to a worker that was here, I don't want to be considered some old gay guy that walks around with a bunch of poodles in costumes. And he said, it's too late for that. My priority is the theater in my life.
I think Rob's so full of himself that he doesn't need a partner to complete him. He needs a lot of fans and a lot of adulation. Hey, dear Robert, happy birthday to you.
Give yourselves a big round of applause. You did that very well. Thank you. It's the relationship that I've had the most success with, is my audience. Thank you so much for coming. I've never had a long-term relationship, and I'm pretty much set in my ways, so I don't think there's someone that would be able to put up with all my eccentricities, and I don't know if I'd be willing to change at this point. Come here. I don't want to cohabitate. I don't want to get married, but it would be nice to be able to go to the theater with someone instead of by yourself. Because, my dear Watson, I had the strongest possibility to wishing certain people to think that it was me. When the audience is there and they're with you, and there's communication going, and the sparks are flying, it's electric, and there's absolutely nothing better than that. When they're not with you.
Nobody reacted when he made his first entrance.
No. Well, so the young people in the back did.
Yeah.
The young people should have been up front. did. And don't I say in the show I make all the puppets?
Yeah.
Then why do they come back and say, do you make all these? It's like, I just say that. I love my audience. I love my audience.
And he has the puppets. In a way, the puppets are his family. I know that sounds bizarre, but they are. He made them. He created them.
I made this in 1969, the year Judy Garland died. The summer. I make all the marionettes that we use at the Lancaster Marionette Theater, and usually I begin by sculpting their heads in clay. This is called Chavant. It's the same kind of clay that makeup artists use when they sculpt appliances for actors. Then I make a mold, fill it with different products depending. Their bodies are usually carved of wood. I make their controls. I string them, I paint them, I make their costumes, I make their wigs. It takes between 50 and 60 hours to make one of the marionettes. That's lousy. Dan, you do this.
How did you learn how to build a marionette?
Just by doing it, I never studied.
Rob, having no family, has really the puppets and the theater as his family, and I guess it sounds kind of silly to say, but I think of the puppets many times as grandchildren.
You have to behave. Come on, get up here. Do you want them down? Oh, you can go away for 5 minutes and you come back and they're so happy to see you. Yes, my little babies. These are my children, not the marionettes. She said, I think of the puppets as my grandchildren, and I just thought that was creepy.
Do the drawbacks one more time, but think up versus down. Okay. That'll help your balance. Do the difference in that, how much cleaner that was? That was lovely.
I'm working with Buddy Reeder from the Fulton on Divas and Days.
Two things. One, when you're doing your set change,
Yes.
can you make reference of, you know, she would never actually do her own set change, or some sort of joke along that?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something funny.
One man show, I got to do my own set change.
Right.
Yeah, I'll come
some
up
bit
with
like that would be great.
I'll come
And
up
then
with
at the
something.
very end, the brump.
Yes.
Give me some sort of accent on that. Nice job, though. Your taps sounded good.
Thank
Your
you.
time steps were great. You stayed right on the money. Kept going. He's just brilliant. He's funny all the time. It's funny.
Mary Lou does not know about this. The audience is just a little too far away. I'm not connecting, and I need to connect with them to get that spark.
Is this probably the most interesting place you've ever done construction for?
Okay, that'd be a good word, interesting. Yeah. I'd say interesting is about right. Unique. There isn't too many other places like this.
Rob can be very persuasive. I mean, if you are a person who can help him in the theater, he's going to put the pressure on, very subtle.
I want to take this end off so it's 2 and 2. Then this end iron could go over there. I can wear people out. Can you do that like now?
Yeah.
And when Rob wants something to happen, it's going to happen.
My mother has no idea that I have done this yet. And when she does, I think the shit's gonna hit the fan. Then Mary Lou suggested I cut Express Yourself, which is the tap number, the number I like the best. And I said, absolutely not. That's the number that really keeps me in shape. 5, 6, 7, 8. Triple. 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 If you want to be a dancer, dance. Shit. I'll tell you what drives me nuts. We'll be 5 weeks into the run of something. She'll say, I've been meaning to tell you. You can't see this. Or it's like, why didn't you tell me that 5 weeks ago? Oh, I forgot.
Rob wants feedback to agree with what he thinks.
I thought that went well, just as well as the others, too. Mary Lou, I'm talking to you.
Yes, it did. I think that's distracting.
To who? You?
Yes, for the audience. As you're
They're seeing
looking
this
at the
side view.
stage. I just think it's visually not good.
Well, they have to be small people.
I don't like the idea of patrons occupying that space.
Okay. The people back there are seeing this person's legs.
Yes.
We can put reserve signs on them and then...
Either that or we could just
I
put a
know,
red
but
cross
I
on.
meant I have to know who to offer those seats to. If I'm to seat small people there, I have to, could be diplomatically, that could be difficult. It's your call.
Let's try it. And try to get small people. I do this whole bit about a connection with the audience. Well, if they're not closer to me, I don't have a connection. It's going to work out well. Is that Buddy? Oh. Thank you. Come here, I have a couple things to tell you quickly. I have to get down. Get down. Do not run my fishnets. Do not run my fishnets. I'll put your collar on.
That's kind of a complicated command for a dog.
He understands it. He's a smart dog.
Great.
I added extra time to all the numbers because I have to like run
Sure.
to get it. So that there
Great.
still might be some that I have to do it.
Okay.
Let me think.
You've
what
done a lot of
else.
work in 2 days. Good for you.
I'm shitting my pants. I'm really shitting my pants. You have my tits placed.
Your tits are up there in the music stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the curtain is about to go up on Divas and Dames. Please take your seats and silence your cell phones. Okay.
What can I do to help you, my love?
Nothing.
All right.
Keep talking.
Every time you run the show, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and you had so much more personality today than you did just a few days ago.
I'm not getting the impressions what's bothering me because I'm thinking so much about everything else. That's the one thing that's...
They were better today than they were the last time. I saw a couple moments that you were thinking, but there were a couple moments that you clicked in, and I was like, oh, yes, honey, there she is. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to sit down?
Yes, I do.
The tits number, first of all, costume looks fantastic. All the bits you're doing is great. You can even make more of a bit of swinging those tits if you want.
Oh, okay.
Because that's funny to us, even if it starts to get out of control. Yes. Shout hallelujah. I loved. Clang, clang, clang.
Yes.
Fantastic. This, when you were sitting and changing, was much better. There was only one time I was like, oops, all the girls.
Well, I was trying to be ladylike.
I know you were. And
I thought this isn't, maybe this.
No, you doing everything, just when you switch
just
sides,
keep them
just
together.
keep your knees together.
Okay. Keep knees
Or charge
together.
more money for the tickets. And are you saying St. Louis or St. Louis?
Louis. It's St. Louis.
Okay.
The song is Meet Me in St. Louis. The title of the movie is Meet Me in St. Louis.
Good to know. I did not know that.
Which Judy and Liza and Vincent would correct you. They would say it's Louis, St. Louis. Mom, do you have anything?
I have one more. And then I go,
He's a little too soft in veterans. I had trouble hearing that.
She doesn't hear. Did anyone else have a problem hearing? And you're coming tomorrow.
Absolutely, I'm
Alrighty.
coming. 7 o'clock
Thank
show.
you, thank you. You have your envelope?
I do.
Did my
Fantastic
makeup
work.
look all right?
It did.
Did it stay in place?
It did.
My wish and goal is that Divas and Dames is what allows us to do the family shows, that it becomes popular enough that that will support the family shows. We'll see. Are you ready? I'm ready. Places.
Hello, Lancaster, how the hell are ya? It's me. It's Liza with the C, not Lisa with an S, cause Lisa with an S goes nuts. It's Lisa with an S, Liza with the simple as can be seen. Liza, if you wanna be a dancer, dance. If you wanna be a movie star, shine. If you wanna dress like Judy, Liza, or May, fine, fine, fine.
In the romance department, not so good. But my best romance is with the audience. Make a note, I need sweat rags. Let go.
Yep.
Oh, I have a set change.
I loved it. Are you kidding? I don't think I've ever gotten a standing ovation in here before. And it meant, standing ovations don't mean much anymore because everyone stands no matter what. I haven't been to a Broadway show in the past, I'd say 20 years, where there wasn't a standing ovation. I think people think they spent that much money, they're gonna stand. It's a big deal here. It's a big deal for me, and it's a big deal because it was a legitimate standing ovation. It just wasn't, let's stand up.
I wouldn't say it's a big deal, but it's a very pleasant surprise. It was a big deal to him, and I was very pleased to see how much it pleased him and how elated it made him feel.
And of course, it was later I said, did you see we got a standing ovation? And I think, her comment was something, well, yes, I saw it. She wasn't the least bit excited about it. I don't even know if she stood. She may not have stood. She was in the back.
Did you stand?
Well, I would be standing at that time anyhow, because that's when I do my turn on the lights, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I would have been on my feet.
He started off as Ben Franklin. Then he got a haircut for General Hand, and then his General Hand costume ends up being the king. I've used the fog on other things, but this is the first time I'm using it with Sleeping Beauty. And then Cinderella's Christmas has the snow machine. This is a snow machine. It uses bubbles to blow it out, and it blows it out and fans it out. I'll be damned. That's on. I'm gonna cry. Oh, God. Okay, it's got to go in there. All right. Oh, fuck. I have to adjust this now. One more time, off she goes. Ibbity bibbity pop, out she comes. Fog off. Oh, fairy godmother, I love my ball gown. I've been doing this marionette version of Cinderella's Christmas for 15 years. 15 years ago, yesterday, my dad died, and that was the day before Thanksgiving, and this was going to open Thanksgiving. We still had a little clout back then, so we got him back in the corner.
Fortunately, he is, because we can identify that spot.
And Mom's gonna go there, and then I'll go there.
And then if you go down, you see my name and Rob's name. The cross after my name indicates that I'm ordained. That's a little eerie at first, when you first see your name on the stone. You kind of have to get used to that. My husband died on the eve of Thanksgiving. If you have to choose a way to go, his couldn't have been better. Ian and Rob and Dad and I were together, which doesn't happen very often.
I hadn't thought about that night in a long time. He had a great time. It was a great exit.
And as we were leaving, he suddenly experienced some difficulty. It became apparent that there was a serious problem. Rob is here. He didn't go with us to the hospital. He came to the theater. He was opening the Christmas show, which was new that year. So he came down to work on that, and we said, you know, we'll keep you informed.
He referred to the puppet theater as the Empire. And I would go home and say, how's the Empire? Did we sell out? I had to cancel the performances that weekend. But that's the one thing that would have pissed him off, that we canceled 3 sold out performances. Our dad is present in our lives all the time. My sister and mom and I often say that was dad, or we, you know, so we don't feel like we have to come here to visit him. We feel his spirit is around us all the time. Wouldn't you say that?
Exactly, exactly.
You know what Peter Pan says about death. I think death will be a great adventure. After that night, I sort of moved back to Buchanan Avenue so my mom wouldn't be alone. And then at one point she said, well, we should put an apartment above the theater. And I said, well, if it's an apartment above the theater, it has to be our digs. And that's how it all started. There's lots of chipmunks here. And my dad, when he lived on Buchanan Avenue, fed the squirrels. And he would go out and go, 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 and they would come running from everywhere. So when I'm in here and I see the chipmunks, I always think of my father. It's a sign. And they're cute.
I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
M-O single N. But I just couldn't do it.
So this is our annual meeting, so this is probably our most important meeting.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. The most important thing tonight will be adopting the budget for the coming year. And that's my responsibility to prepare that. Last year was our very best income year. We had a special effort to raise money to build the new stage.
You can't tap on the trap door. It sounds like a herd of cattle.
Father Bill, how are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
We'll turn the meeting over to Father William Archer.
May we have a motion that these people be approved as elected to the board.
So moved.
But also, I remember being with Rob when there was only one ticket sold. I came in and sat with him so there would be at least 2 people in the audience. And the thing that was striking about that was he worked just as hard and gave a just as good performance for those 2 people as for a full house. And that's been my relationship with Rob, is to realize how much he puts into this and how well it comes out. Every now and then a string breaks or something happens, and he has an amazing way of going ahead with the show and keeping it going. So it's really kind of neat.
One of the Divas and Dames sold out last Saturday.
If you turn to the flip side of the agenda, you'll see the proposed budget. I have not projected revenue for next year. Obviously, we hope that we will have some. We already have $1,000 that came online.
Is there a motion to accept the proposed budget for 2019-2020?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We encouraged him with the arts from the time he was 4. I can remember doing paper bag puppets in the General Hospital. He was there a month and I stayed with him. My life has never been the same, but it's been exciting, and I am quite proud of him and his accomplishments. And I'm always surprised at that there is a new endeavor and how energetic it is and how he does manage to pull it off. I thank you all for being on the board.
This is gonna sound nasty. I thought she was saying it for the camera. Second starring to the right, then straight on to morning's light. Come with me and we'll make this flight. I'll teach you how to fly tonight. Neverland sounds fun to me. I'll tell stories merrily. Well, since you and my mother have both been pestering me about Peter Pan, I thought I'd try to remount it.
Come on, Tinkerbell, it's time. Come on, follow me. We're homeward bound. Let's fly back to London town.
When you were shooting the board meeting and you were asking Mary Lou about me, and she said how proud she was of me and very sincere, and I made the joke, I thought she was playing to the camera. When Mom saw a rough cut, it upset her deeply. It actually created a real rift between us. I apologized and expressed my regret of saying that. And I can also hear my father's voice in my head, and he would always say, you better hope nothing ever happens to MLB because you'll be shit out of luck. She's your biggest supporter, which she is. And as an act of contrition, I'm going to bring back Peter Pan for our 30th season because it's my mom's favorite show.
All our shows have a positive ending. There's usually always a villain, but he's redeemed, or she is redeemed. And I think that's what children need to learn.
I've been feeding these squirrels for 15 years. Cup, 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 cup. If you look up there, you can see them coming down over the hill. But anyway, he's happy, and I'm happy that he's happy. Come on, here, come on. You want 2 of them? And he's a good guy. And I think we get along better now than we have for years. Although he still doesn't listen.
My goal is to count success not by ticket sales, but by the response of the audience. Now in my 60s, which I call the third act of my life,
I wish to live with an attitude of gratitude.
Gratitude for benefactors past and present.
Valuing the hard work of the past 28 years.
That has enabled the Lancaster Marionette Theater to continue to bring joy to local, multi-generational families.
And to visitors from far and wide.
Where for 35 minutes, they can enjoy happy endings.
Where virtuousness is rewarded.
And villains are redeemed. I'm excited to bring Peter Pan back, and I can't wait for 2020 at our gala opening. in Never Never Land. Come on, everyone, second star to the right, straight on till morning. Can't tap on cement. Well, today is March 17th, 2020. Yes. And of course, what are these cars doing out? They should be at home. Go home. We've closed until further notice. Also affects our gala. I don't want to sound like I'm bitching and complaining, but I did this invitation for our gala, which was supposed to take place on Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of April. And of course, that has been postponed. So this is the set half done. This pandemic takes, how can I say this? I feel awkward celebrating when I feel that we're really in a crisis, in a pandemic, and I find it very frightening. And Mary Lou is in a high-risk group. I'm not as high a risk, but I am over 60, and I don't have full lung capacity. Well, I made sure Mary Lou is stocked up on wine, so I got her 10 bottles of big wine. I've got her two or three bottles of Bloody Mary mix. So that should last, bonjour, that should last her 5 weeks. Well, financially, there's nothing coming in. I mean, there's nothing coming in, and actually we're losing. It's not that it's not only coming in, but I have to refund tickets.
Tap your troubles away.
I've been given the orders not to spend anything. I did buy a jigsaw puzzle. I've had many friendships over the years, some short, some that have lasted decades. In the relation department, not so good. But my most important and longest lasting relationship is with you, my audience. When we're together, it's just electric.
Discuss with Mr. Carson. There's nothing wrong with the references, but of course they are from before you were married. Have a good one. Namaste.
This is it, our Easter show. I am you. Oh shit, God. We're under severe wind warnings today. And I'm working on getting my car started. Pretty sure I started it Friday, but it won't start today. I'm not telling my mother. I had positive to positive and negative to negative. And I did try to start it again, and it made a little more noise, so I'm gonna let this sit. I hope you all had a blessed Easter. Hope you're having a wonderful Passover, happy Passover. Ciao, I'll keep you updated on the car. This was supposed to be our 30th gala season.
No red carpet gala. No more shows.
Plus, the NFL held its annual draft tonight, but will it hold any games this fall? How big-time sports are dealing with the coronavirus. The people who are needing it the most and not getting it, think business.
Temperature time. COVID-19 haircut, what do you think? D minor, G7, C minor. Chord progressions on YouTube.
Notes are named A through G. The black keys are named relative to the white keys with the words sharp and flat. Sharp means higher and flat means...
Tell your doctor.
Maxie. I wanna be, no, that's the wrong tune. I wanna be a YouTuber. Have my shows on Facebook and Insta. That's the wrong lyric. I wanna be, I miss my audience here. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Praise be. I just miss having people come here. I'm so happy you're here. I don't like to, I'm also 62 and I have severe scoliosis. I have weight issues. I have mental health issues. I'll quote Big Edie, I'm not leaving Grey Gardens unless I go out feet first. I don't like things to end. I don't like saying goodbyes. That's one of the nice things about the Marionette Theater. The show never closes. It just goes on to the next one, and I can improve it. I can do more. I can change it up. I wanna be a YouTuber, post my shows on Facebook and Instagram. I wanna be a YouTuber, this old queen is one big ham. I had this bright idea to celebrate 30 years, but there's no audience here. That's why I wanna be a YouTuber, so subscribe and make my bell ring. I wanna be a YouTuber, so I can keep on pulling the, I said, keep on pulling the, let's take it home with a big ending. Keep on pulling the strings. So subscribe and make my bell ring.
You got it.
Is that all right?
It's great.
I don't want people to be sad that the theater's closing. I want them to be happy and celebrate the long run that we've had here, which I couldn't have done without my parents. I've been incredibly lucky all my life, and I've been very blessed to work in theater all my life and to be trained by professionals that are mainly up in heaven. Back in the alley when I said I hate it when things close. And I don't mind the theater closing as much as this project closing. It's been so... It helped my mother and I so much get through the pandemic. And it's just, I feel like it's a closing night. I'll always be a performer, but it just won't be here in this venue.
When I reminisce of my childhood Christmas, it feels like an old warm blanket wrapped around me. Our home luminesced, a glow of coziness, while snow covered our old swing set, and all was merry.